Here we are again with the fourth lesson in Unit 6. This one is all about dividing monomials. We have two steps and a quotient rule. Remember, quotient is just the fancy term for division or dividing. So let's look at our two steps and that rule. Step 1, we're going to divide the coefficients as normal. And step 2, using the quotient rule to simplify the exponents. And what is that quotient rule? If we have some number to the nth power divided by that same or another number divided by the nth power, that gives us x to the m minus n. So essentially, when we are dividing monomials, we subtract the exponents. So let's look at a few examples. Number 1 through 4 together. So you have x to the 5th divided by x to the 3rd. So 5 minus 3 would give us 2. And we just keep that coefficient as is. So it's x to the 2nd power is our answer. For number 2, we have k to the 8th divided by k to the 3rd. So we subtract the exponents. 8 minus 3 gives us k to the 5th power. For number 3, this one's a little tricky. You'd want to think that the answer is 0, but that's not the case. Because what we're doing is we're subtracting it. So we have 3 minus 3, so that gives us m to the 0, which is the same thing as 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. For number 4, we can only do the a's together and the b's together. So a to the 6th divided by a to the 2nd gives us a to the 4th. And b to the 4th divided by b to the 3rd. 4 minus 3 is 1, so that's b to the 1 power, but we don't need to write to the first power. We can just leave it as b. I'm going to have you guys go ahead and try 5 through 10 on your own. So go ahead and pause the video and give those a try. They're a little more challenging, but once you unpause it, the answers will be up. Check them, and I'll give a little bit further explanation. And go ahead and check your answers for 5 through 10. The key thing to remember is with the numbers in front of the coefficients, we still apply the proper division rule. So 6 divided by 2 would give us that 3. And then we apply the x to the 4th, x to the 3rd is x to the 1st when we subtract the exponents. Same thing, number 6, 14 by 7 is 2. And then follow the rules for x and y. Same thing with number 7, 36 divided by 4. Negative 36 divided by 4 is a negative 9. Number 8, negative divided by negative is giving us positive. Something to note about this one is that z just stays the same because there's no z in the denominator of this. 4 divided by 8, we can simplify that down to 1/2. And then n to the 5th divided by n to the 1st is n to the 4th. So we can say 1/2 n4 is power. Or just leave it as n to the 4th divided by 2. So that kind of ends our lessons on monomials in terms of dividing them. And now what we're going to do is have you put it all together by looking at numbers 11 through 20. So make sure that you pay close attention at the examples. More specifically, the examples from the previous lessons. So when we look at 11 and 12, we need to first distribute that exponent before we divide, because we need to make sure that we follow the proper order of operations. So it's parentheses first, and then exponents, and then multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, and so forth. So let's look at number 11 and 12 together. So we're going to first distribute that 2, that second power. So 3 squared gives us 9. X to the 5th times to the second power. That 5 times 2 would give us x to the 10th, divided by that 27x to the 3rd. And then when we simplify that, 9 divided by 27 is a 3, or 1/3. And then x to the 10th divided by x to the 3rd, we subtract those, that gives us x to the 7th. Now notice that it goes up top because it's a positive, so it goes up top. For number 12, we're going to distribute this third power. So 2 to the 3rd power gives us 8. And then a to the 6th and b to the 12th. All divided by 4a to the 3rd, b to the 7th. Now we can properly subtract or divide these out, subtracting the exponents. So 8 divided by 4 gives us a 2. A to the 3rd, when we do a to the 6th divided by a to the 3rd, because we subtract. And b to the 12th divided by b to the 7th, subtract those exponents, that gives us b to the 5th. So that gives you a few examples on how to apply previously learned information when we are proceeding. So that completes this lesson. Go ahead and proceed on to the next lesson for this unit.